Hello and welcome to Game Day U, Oklahoma's only weekly football pregame show on TV. I'm your host, Cam Williams, and I'm joined alongside my esteemed analysts, Michael Thompson, Hallie McPherson, and Andrew West. The Sooners were in Philly this past weekend, looking to go 3-0 versus Temple to start off this 2025 season. Starting off on the ground, Javonte Barnes is going to take this 3-yard rush for a touchdown, part of the Sooner rushing attack that gained 228 yards on the ground. And Jaren Kanak is going to go for the two-point conversion and find kicker Ulrich for the two-point conversion to make it 8-0. Third quarter, quarterback John Mateer is going to keep the QB keeper and take matters into his own hands and run this 51-yard QB keeper to the house. The Heisman candidate finished with 345 total yards and 2 touchdowns, and the Sooners will go on the roll to a win 42-3. The Sooners played complimentary football last Saturday in all phases as the offense, specifically in the running game, showed up. The defense held Temple to 3 points and forced 4 sacks, and kicker Tate Sandell went 2 for 2, including a 52-yarder.
Well, how about this, Cam? Bauer Sharp was OU's leading receiver last year, which is sad, considering Jaren Kanak, who, remember, was a defender last season, has over 3 times more receiving yards than Sharp through 3 games. I think Kanak might be a solution.
And, Michael, OU has found who their starting running back will be after Temple, Torrey Blaylock. He is leading the Sooners in rushing this season and hasn't looked like a freshman while doing it, pushing Javonte Barnes to back up Jaden Ott and Xavier Robinson to third string.
I fully understand it was just Temple, but this defense just looks unstoppable. Through 3 games, they are ranked 4th in total defense, and if it weren't for a pick on their own side of the field, the Owls would have left a big old donut on the scoreboard.
It'll be a reunion back to the Palace this weekend for Auburn quarterback Jackson Arnold. The former 5-star spent 2 years with the Sooners, and Arnold knows come Saturday, the Crimson and Cream faithful will be loud.
It's going to be a tough one. Coach Venables is a fantastic defensive coach and great defensive mind. He'll throw some stuff my way, which I probably won't be expecting, but you just roll with the punches and go from there. I think it'll be fun. Obviously a little weird being on the opposite sideline, but I'm excited to go out there and play in a stadium that I love to watch games in, I love to play games in, so I'm extremely excited for that game.
The Sooners attract the injury bug like the plague, and this time it's the offensive line. Troy Everett will miss the rest of the season after injuring his knee before the Temple game, but Brent Venables says he knows Everett will help the team in other ways.
Devastating. Same injury, other knee that he had a little over a year and a half ago, and he's having a really good year and just a great leader, and he'll find another way to use all the leadership qualities that he has to help us.
John Mateer slid through Temple's offense, shining with 281 yards passing and a 51-yard touchdown. This weekend, he meets back up with a high school opponent, Jackson Arnold. Both are making new memories with new teams.
I remember him, Peyton and Eli beat me pretty bad. Wasn't my most fun game, but he's had a good year. I mean, I've really only watched him against Baylor in the first game of the year, and he played well. He's taking strides and taking coaching, and I'm excited for him.
Oklahoma is without starting defensive end R. Mason Thomas for the first half after being called for targeting in the second half against Temple. The appeal on the call was denied, but his teammates aren't shy this new challenge brings.
Definitely a huge loss. I know he's done so much good stuff on tape. But, I think we have a very good cognizant group who showed that week by week, and I think we've shown to get better each week. So I think we're, as long as we practice well, prep well, practice to our standard, and we just execute, then we should be okay.
Coming up after the break, Game Day U reporter Darby McCormick has more on Jackson Arnold's return to Norman. Darby?
Yeah, Cam, when Arnold first started his college career, I'm sure he wasn't expecting to return to Norman in orange and navy blue. But I've got the expectations from both fan bases and how they think this game is going to go coming up next.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over.
Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
We said we'd never give in to a meltdown.
Mariella!
Never leave the house looking, well, and never let them out of our sight. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
Welcome back to Game Day U. The Sooner QB carousel a year ago prompted Jackson Arnold to hit the transfer portal and ultimately choose the Auburn Tigers. Now, Arnold is back in Norman and looking for revenge. Game Day U reporter Darby McCormick has more on the former Sooner quarterback.
Cam, I'm standing by some of the greats of OU football. Sam Bradford, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield. Jackson Arnold probably thought that he was going to end up here, but things changed, and he's back in the Sooner State wearing orange and navy blue. Fans have had mixed reviews on him coming back.
He blows. Yeah, my IM flag football quarterback is better than him. That guy.
That guy, former OU quarterback Jackson Arnold, now turned Auburn Tiger.
These colors right here, they don't bring out his eyes very well. I think, you should own where you are, the age you're in, the football era you're in. And he's at a bad school, so it's not OU. You can hear the bells, the great bells in the background. It's not. I don't think War Eagle has that.
One thing they might have, the right QB1 fit Arnold couldn't find in Norman.
I think, honestly, it was a rough year for all of us. We had a very injured O-line. Receiver core was down. It was kind of just a hard year for him to blossom, so it was a very difficult environment for him to succeed in.
And success is what Tiger fans think is written in the stars.
I've loved what I've seen out of him. I'm excited to see when they actually open up the passing game for him a little bit more.
I don't think he's been asked to do a whole lot right now, but I think the biggest thing coming in is everybody criticized him turning the ball over, and he hasn't put it. I think he's only put it on the ground one time against Baylor. But I'm excited for him to just kind of sling the ball down the field and see where it goes. But he brings a swagger to the team that I like.
But they know it's no warm welcome from OU fans.
You're gonna be like, all right, like this is the old guy coming back. We want to beat him up pretty bad.
We've got the best defense in the country, so I mean, we're gonna lock it up.
Whenever you pay to go to a SEC school, you want to see SEC football, and that really didn't look like SEC football.
He was not good enough for Oklahoma. John Mateers, the Heisman quarterback.
Sooners by 1,000.
Man, interviewing those OU fans yesterday really proved there ain't no love in Oklahoma for the transfer. But let's see if that tough love either helps him or hurts him on own field later today. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Darby. The early season surprise has been true freshman running back Tory Blaylock. He leads the Sooners in rushing with 165 yards, and his performance against Temple last week earned him SEC Freshman of the Week honors. Game Day U reporter El Gedman is live with this week's Sooner Spotlight.
Yeah, Cam, true freshman Tory Blaylock has been locked in. He was named SEC Freshman of the Week, and he just got promoted to be the Sooners' lead running back. Coaches and fellow players agree that there's nobody more deserving.
Shown up every day, been ultra consistent, done what's asked of him, have an unbelievable mindset, had a white belt mindset, in karate terms, always trying to learn and build upon what he's learned. He's been awesome in that regard.
I'm excited for my teammates. I'm excited for Tory Blaylock. I've been seeing that since spring ball when he first came in and took him under my wing. And I just always loved his confidence and his attitude. Coming into the facility, always bringing energy, lifting everybody up, and always had a smile on his face. So I'm proud of where he's at right now and happy for his future.
Yeah, I think every week we're just trying to get 1% better, keep working on the things that we need to work on. I think with the extra reps at practice, just going in there with a mindset of trying to be better every day, I feel like that's going to allow us to keep getting better. So I feel like every week they've been better so far.
Sorry for those technical difficulties. When we come back, we'll have more on this afternoon showdown next. Auburn comes into Norman this week looking to go 4-0 for the first time since 2019. Transfer Tigers quarterback Jackson Arnold also wants to silence the Sooner naysayers that continue to say that he couldn't play in Norman. Gameday U reporter Darby McCormick has more on the Tigers.
When Auburn fans think of dual threats, they probably remember the legend of Bo Jackson. But what they wish to think is the running and passing of Jackson Arnold this upcoming season. While his journey in the SEC started at OU, he's solely focused on his path ahead with the Tigers.
Obviously, things didn't go how I wanted to go last year, but for me, I felt like it was time to move on. And for Auburn, I felt like it was just the best fit for me. And you know, they had the roster, they had the coaches, and they had the place that I wanted to be at.
While being a leader now on 2 SEC teams, he's taken his rough past and turned it into a hopeful present.
I'm grateful for where I'm at. You know, I know God's got a plan for me, whatever that is, and if that was to struggle last year and go through everything that I went through and persevered, you know, that's part of it. But, you know, I'm grateful for where I'm at, and I think I'm in a great spot to thrive. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm a different dude than I was last fall, but you know, I do feel more confident in myself going into this year. And not that I didn't have any confidence last year, but you know, obviously, like I said, things didn't go how we planned for it to go.
But even after his struggle at OU, he's still excited to go back to Norman and play the Crimson and Cream.
Obviously, a little weird being on the opposite sideline, but you know, I'm excited to go out there and play in a stadium that I love to watch games in, I love to play games in. So I'm extremely excited for that game.
And while the game against OU last season was anything but a home run, the Tigers will head into Norman with Jackson Arnold in the hopes of a Sooner strikeout. Reporting from SEC Media Days in Atlanta, Georgia, Darby McCormick, Gameday U.
Besides Baylor in week 1 of this year, Jackson Arnold has never won a road game in which he started. He's averaging only 75 yards through the air in his first 6 starts on the road in his career, and I think the Sooners stifle Arnold.
108th in passing offense. Yikes, Cam. It is no secret that Auburn has had success on the ground. The Tigers have 10 rushing touchdowns compared to their only 4 passing. OU showed they can stop the run game by just dominating Michigan, so I expect more of the same today. Speaking of the pass game, Jackson Arnold isn't capable of slinging the ball around the field. He has 501 passing yards on the season. Half of those were against Ball State. I'm with Michael. Auburn's run game won't be a factor, but they won't be able to throw it around either.
And Andrew, on the defensive side for Auburn, they are ranked 10th in rush defense nationally. Auburn has only allowed 201 rushing yards from the past 3 teams, and 140 of those came from South Alabama last weekend.
Now, let's take a look at the SEC slate of games for Week 4 of the 2025 season as Taylor Green and this high-powered Arkansas offense travels to Memphis to face the Tigers in an SEC AAC matchup.
Well, an in-state matchup between a team that's looked very good, Cam, and a team that has been nothing short of tragic. Florida's DJ Lagway has been giving the football to the other team like he's allergic to it. So I'm looking to see if Miami and Carson Beck can make it a hurricane on Florida. From 1932 to 1965, the Green Wave of Tulane called the SEC home and even won 3 conference titles. 6 years later, they're heading up to 13th ranked Ole Miss as both teams look to stay undefeated. The key here, Austin Simmons is out, and I'm a big fan of John Sumrall. I've also been to Oxford. It's not impressive. Roll Wave.
Yeah, that's definitely one to watch, Andrew. But Mizzou is up for their first SEC test against South Carolina, and they don't know what quarterback they will be up against. South Carolina quarterback Lenora Sellers went down last weekend and is still questionable to play in the conference opener.
That in-state showdown between Miami and Florida will definitely be one to keep an eye out on. When Gameday U returns, we're back talking about the Sooners and things to watch for against Auburn.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Gameday U. Now, it's time for us to break down some of the things the Sooners need to focus on ahead of Auburn. I'll start with the leading Heisman candidate who has campus buzzing, John Mateer. Even though Mateer has been balling through the first 3 weeks, he does have an interception in every game he's played in this year. Granted, not all on him, but as a quarterback, your #1 job is to protect the football. I think if Mateer limits the turnovers, the Sooners are in good shape versus Auburn.
Well, fans were excited about Jaden Knott coming to OU because, like Cam said, turnovers were an absolute issue last year. But the Sooner offense was so bad last year that Mateer and Ott coming was hoping to be the fix. I thought with them coming that the 97th ranked offense last year would improve, but it doesn't seem like Ott is fitting in. If you are going to drop the pretty penny that Jim Nagy did for him, 9 carries and 17 yards so far on the season is not going to cut it.
Yeah, Michael, offense has been a little concerning, but Oklahoma's defense has proved why they are on top. They rank first in the SEC in total defense, scoring defense, and first downs allowed. But they haven't forced a single turnover from the other team. OU is just one of 6 FBS teams to not force a turnover, which was never much of a problem last season. But hey, maybe Jackson Arnold will be the remedy to this problem, considering he has been turnover prone before.
Hallie, I'm with you. There's nothing I love more than a good defense, but what I need to see is if the offense can take advantage of field position, as long as special teams can do it too. Of course, John Mateer will play a big role in that, but I want to see what offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle can cook up for this offense. The Sooners averaged 316 yards through the air, and I don't see why that would change in this one. Arbuckle is going to make that Auburn defense look foolish.
Yeah, Andrew, we'll see if Arbuckle will have this Sooner offense clicking on all cylinders. Coming up after the break, we'll have some new faces on set ready to make some bold predictions for this weekend's games.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping. Got a few minutes? You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over. Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together. It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Welcome back to Game Day U, where some new faces are here in studio, ready to give some bold predictions for this big fourth weekend of college football. With me are Elijah Lena, Horner Cornejo, and Abigail Nickel. Up first, the top 20 Big 12 contest out west. Number 17, Texas Tech, and number 16, Utah at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City. Elijah, who comes out with the win?
Well, Cam, Utah could have Tech so dazed, they'll be seeing 12 men instead of 11. And speaking of 12, this Utah roster has had 12 individuals score a touchdown. And QB Devin Dampier could be a dark horse for the Heisman. Give me the Utes.
Starting off 0-1, Elijah. Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire once said, everything runs through Lubbock. Now the nation's best scoring offense resides in West Texas. Maybe McGuire was on to something here. Red Raiders moved to 4-0 with a road win in Utah.
Hunter, I couldn't agree more. Although the Utes are the favorite in this game, Red Raiders quarterback Baron Morton has been on fire with just under 1,000 passing yards and 11 touchdowns and outscoring his first 3 opponents 174-35. The numbers don't lie. Wreck 'em.
Next, an in-state showdown brewing with DJ Lagway and the Florida Gators visiting Carson Beck and the U at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Elijah, take it away.
Florida quarterback DJ Lagway just threw 5 interceptions to LSU last week, got upset by UCF in week 2, and they've only beat Long Island, an FCS school. The Gators need that second win, but that's not happening today. Give me the Hurricanes.
Miami not only beat South Florida a week ago, the Hurricanes blew them offshore. DJ Lagway is second in the nation in interceptions thrown for Florida. Mario Cristobal might have to bring back the turnover chain tonight. Miami stays undefeated with another primetime win.
Guys, I think y'all are forgetting Florida's defense. They're top 25 against the run and fresh off holding LSU to just 20. And DJ Lagway is looking for his comeback. The Gators could turn Hard Rock into the swamp real quick, leaving Miami wishing for more than just South Beach sunshine.
A Big Ten Midwest contest, and you know it'll be a slugfest. A top 20 showdown between Illinois and Indiana. Elijah, what's the verdict?
Cam, this is a tough one. Both teams have aspects of their game held in high regard, with Indiana with their 8th ranked defense and Illinois with a 13th ranked offense. But the Hoosier fans will be behind them. I think IU squeaks this one out. Go Hoosiers.
As the saying goes, defense wins championships. Illinois is second in college football in turnover margin, forcing 6 while committing 0. The Fighting Illini have not won a road game as a top 10 team since 1990, but that changes today as Luke Altmaier gets it done.
Hunter, I agree. And let's not forget, Illinois has a secret weapon. 6'3", 275-pound linebacker Gabe Akis. Gabe has 8 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. And if he keeps it up, Bloomington might just start handing out maps to find him on the field.
Lastly, it's Jackson Arnold's long-awaited return to the Palace. Number 22 Auburn and 11th ranked Oklahoma on ABC's afternoon primetime. Elijah, do the Crimson and Cream get it done?
It's clear that this Sooner squad is way better than when Jackson Arnold was at the helm a year ago. Mateer has 472.6 yards per game through week 3 compared to Arnold's 325 through week 3 in the 2024 season. I think Arnold will regret his transfer after this one. Give me OU.
Great pick here, Elijah. Brent Venables took over as the defensive play caller for the Sooners this season. So far, his defense is leading the SEC in 6 different defensive categories. Jackson Arnold is going to be seeing ghosts tonight. Sooners pick up another top 25 win.
Well, guys, I think we can all agree on this one. Auburn might be wondering if they flew into a different stadium this year. Sooners defense is no joke. Jackson Arnold will have to hold on to the ball this game, and I don't see that happening. Sooners by 50.
Sounds like a lot of good games to look out for this weekend. Against Auburn, I've got Torrey Blaylock rushing for over 100 yards. Thanks for watching Game Day U, where it just means more. For Elijah Lena, Hunter Cornejo, and Abigail Nickel, I'm Cam Williams. We'll be back in 2 weeks when OU hosts Kent State at home. Have a great Sooner Game Day.